To be back from Cyprus.
Yeah, I think he's back now. Okay, guys, Niv, do you want to kick us off, please?
Hi, David.
Hi there, morning.
See you. Let's start with the team news, please. Any updates with Chelsea?
Ben Johnston's not available, and we're still waiting to see how Gianluca is, and we're still waiting to see how Aaron Creswell is. So there'll be sort of late decisions, both of them.
Despite the fact that it wasn't the win against Spurs, that was a very encouraging performance with lots of positive.
Yeah, I thought the second half showed a lot of really good signs, and we started. I think we could sense that we were beginning to get closer to the levels we've been at. So we've got to show that we can do it for more than 45 minutes. We've got to try and do it now for much longer, and I mean those levels are what we want to reach.
Lucas Paqueta came on as a sub against Spurs. How do you see his settling in period, and can he potentially make a start tomorrow?
Well, settling in is always going to be difficult for any players coming in. I think his English is very limited. That's one of the issues we've got at the moment. But overall, he's in. He trained yesterday, so we want to get him involved. You can see, the impact he had. But also, we want to be fair, and we don't want to be pushing someone and expecting something so special right away. We want to give him a chance to get to know the players, how we play. The Premier League, getting to know the Premier League is probably the biggest thing.
It's never easy to win at Stamford Bridge, but the lack of consistency we are seeing from Chelsea since the beginning of the season, could that be an ideal opportunity for West Ham?
Well, they're your words, not my words. Chelsea are always a big opponent for whoever plays them. They have some really fantastic players, and they're trying to sort of put together a new team as well just now, and maybe a new club. In fact, if you look at the changes which Chelsea have had to make over the last year or two, so big changes there, and sometimes changes take a little bit of time.
You had a very positive summer in terms of recruitment. How do you see it reducing the gap between West Ham and the so-called top 4 or even top 6 clubs after your recruitment?
Well, I think we've tried to bring in players who we believe can really can try and keep us up near the top end. That's the plan. So we have to do that. I think that the top clubs have recruited well also. If you're talking about the real top clubs, you look at Haaland or you look at Núñez, the level of the forwards and what you have to pay to get the real top players. So yeah, we're trying to keep up with them. That's the job, and hopefully in time we can get the players to show exactly how good they are.
Emma?
David, 8 players in during this transfer window. Are you happy with that?
Yeah, we needed it. If we didn't get that in, we wouldn't have had enough, and actually we could still question that at the moment. We were short, and I told everybody the sort of the arithmetic question, which would have told you the ones how many we need in and how many we got out, etc. So I think we were always going. It was always going to be a year where we were going to have to bring in 7, 8, maybe more players, if in truth.
How do you go about integrating new players?
Well, I think it's really important to have the players do a big job as well. For example, I'd use Mark Noble. Mark Noble was very good at helping them settle in. We've got a really good player care team here who look after them, make sure that we try to get them housed well. Their families are all looked after. We try to do well for them now. We do most things for them. That's just the way it is with players. But I think on the football side of it, you want to get as many training sessions in with them as you can. You want to see their abilities. You want the other players to see, how do they play, where do they play, what's their strengths. And I think that's the bit which takes time. And ideally, you'd have the players in pre-season, because you can get a couple of pre-season games. You get a chance to see them play for you. They get a chance to know what the teammates are like. And when you're bringing them in late, now you're actually having to play them in Premier League games which are of huge value to win it, while you're still trying to see how somebody does. And it's actually great for the public. The public want to see the new players, but for a manager, you're actually trying to feel that you know exactly what you're going to get, or you have an idea what you're going to get, and it takes a little bit of time.
Sorry, David, because I was just going to say, when we spoke to you before the start of the season, the Manchester City game, you actually said, I don't think we're quite ready at the moment. Do you feel that you're kind of this squad now? Do you think you're more ready?
I think I think we are. I think we're getting towards that, but it'd be difficult to say. So what you would really be saying is, so is Gianluca ready? Is Paqueta ready? Is Emerson ready? You know, Flynn Downs, and the answer to that would be no, because it takes time for them to get part of the club. So I think when you're making changes, then it can be like that. But obviously we are in it now, and we've started to. The game the other night, the second half the other night, was just started to look a little bit fresher in some areas of the team, and I have to say that's the way we're going to be going forward.
This fixture was moved quite late, which has frustrated the fans. I don't know how you feel as a manager, how the players have felt in terms of the change of the date.
Yeah, I think it's disappointing, because I think it was known that there would be Champions League games and European games for us as well. And I'll tell you something about the Premier League. The Premier League have got a great organisation, and in the main, these situations don't happen very often in the Premier League. But when I was fortunate enough to manage in Spain for a year, the one thing which was completely different from the Premier League to La Liga was that the Premier League's organisation was fantastic. La Liga was really late organisation. When was the game going to be? Was it 10 o'clock at night? Was it going to be 6 o'clock at night? Was it going to be Sunday? Was it going to be Monday? What day was it going to be? And when I was out there, it was the thing that annoyed me a little bit. So I hope the Premier League are not going like that, because I think what the Premier League are is a very good run organisation which tries to get things right, but I think they've got this one wrong, to be honest, and I think the lateness for the supporters is not correct.
It does mean you're playing on a Saturday for the first time in quite a while.
It's incredible. I think today's Saturday, doing the press conference. I can't work it out actually at the moment. We've probably had a year of Sunday football, so it feels, I've got to say, it feels very strange. But look, let's be fair, it's great we're playing on a Saturday. I think it's the tradition in this country. It's always been the football day, and certainly from the generation I've been brought up in, it's been a Saturday. I think when you're given no Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday, that's slightly different.
Tight games against Chelsea last season. Are you expecting something similar this time?
I hope so, because it's telling you that we're getting closer to Chelsea if that's the case. We've had some good games at home against them, some good results. I think we lost in the 93rd minute against them at Stamford Bridge last year, so it's telling us that we're getting closer. And obviously over recent years, Chelsea have been world champions, European champions, and so they've always had a good team, Chelsea.
Finally from me, because the transfer window's closed, Declan Rice remains a West Ham player, but he has been linked so often with Chelsea. I just wonder how close he ever was to going to Chelsea.
Nothing I know of, and the club have always said that he wasn't going to be available, and we try to tell you the truth here.
Okay, if we turn the cameras off then.